Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. My name is Katie, this is the Atelier Nikazuki stream, and we are working on getting small box bags prepped for sewing. We're gonna post a link here, and then we're gonna get at it. So what we're working on today is we are working on getting the edges boxed to sew, and then we'll be doing what are we doing? Twill. Then twill goes in. It is a glorious day here. Like, gorgeous, gorgeous day. Okay. Also, I don't know what the heck is going on, but I feel like I have far fewer clips than I did in the fall. Like, where did they all go? I do not know. Also, just gonna check to see if all the twill is here with this roll, or if I need to get, or if I like distributed more twill somewhere else. I have like 3 rolls of the natural twill, so we're set up for that one for a while, which is good. It's like one of the things I need to figure out where to get it. Oh, that's webbing. Oh, that's why. Okay, so, oh, those are both webbing. Ooh, okay, that changes this. So this is all I have of, okay, and that's twill. This is for sure twill. Okay, but that's all I have of the natural. Okay, never mind. It's like the one thing though that I do still need to figure out a replacement for that isn't Amazon. It's like one of the few things I still purchase from there. There's been some other stuff too, but like I did reduce our dependence on Amazon by a significant amount last year. I was like, fuck yeah. And we're at 807 subscribers now. Holy y'all. That's fucking amazing. I love it. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that I can actually see the chat window, or at least to make sure that I can see it. Well, I've got, yeah, there we go. Mostly see it. Okay, boxing and then twilling. Okay, so these are the handles for the box bags. So we've got something like 25 or 26. We do have one darker box bag that will also finish, mostly because it's like I literally just have to put the handle in it and turn it. Oh no, the horrors of this all, right? So, okay. So those are both dark twill. And actually we'll pop, yeah, they can see there. That's a zip pull, which we are done with right now, because we're only going to do the light stitched bags for now, and then we'll do the dark stitched bags later, because that'll balance, in my head, that will balance what we're doing. Now the question I had this time is, I think I gotta do these like lineups independently of each other. So what we're going to do, so I always put a midway mark now for the zip when we're ironing these guys, like that. The issue is that my interiors are like slightly smaller, right? Because then they sit in the bag correctly. So I think what I gotta do is like this, and then I'm going to do the trim down with the exterior being the larger piece. So like that. Yeah. Now technically I could actually, do you know what? We are going to go in and we're just going to mark all of these, and then we can just cut them all at once. That feels like a more efficient use of time. I don't know. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, that's right. I'm like, am I using this wrong? No, I am not using it wrong. I need to make a note on it, though, with the bigger Sharpie, because the smaller Sharpies, for whatever reason, wear out very fast, like the fine line Sharpies. And it is a slightly different cut on the long side versus the zipper side sort of thing, so. And the big thing here is we want that exterior fabric to match up with the like on that zipper. That's the big thing I'm aiming for, so. Okay, anyway, I did spin and yoga this morning. We are currently in the throes of marathon training, but I did reestablish that I would go to spin and yoga typically on Thursdays. I've obviously missed the last couple weeks because it was Christmas and then New Year's Day. So it was like, well, there's no classes those days, that's for sure, which is fine. Everyone deserves those days off, but I was like, damn it. Can't really replicate, like, I run on the treadmill all the time because we have a treadmill, and I actually ordered a spin bike with air miles back during the pandemic when it was like at the height, and I was like, I'm going to exercise at home with this spin bike because our studio was producing like video spin classes, virtual spin classes, so like a la Peloton. I didn't want a Peloton bike, it was expensive. It is expensive. And just, there's multiple factors there. So I was like, anyway, whatever. I tried to do that. It didn't work. It's not the same as going into the studio and like being dark and basically being like exercise club literally at 9:30 in the morning. Welcome to the exercise club. Anyway, am I a little bit annoyed that like half my day on Thursdays is at these classes essentially? Yes. Do I feel fucking amazing right now? Yes. So I guess this is where we're at. And that's what I do on Thursdays now. Also, I could have not sat my ass down on the couch for as long as I did too. So that's on me. But I made myself coffee and we're down here and I answered an email to a friend that I haven't chatted with for a very long time. I was actually thinking about it the other day. And I'm like, wait, we had a whole like email chain, and then I completely dropped it. So I was happy to. I was like, thank you for reaching out, because I just realized that I totally dropped that conversation back in like October or something. So I appreciated it significantly. Now, this is not a step that I've done before. Before, what I've done is I've just like cut them out. But I feel like lining them or like tracing this onto there and then doing it is going to be as good or better. I don't know. We'll see. It definitely like chunks up the work a little bit more, so I get little like micro accomplishments. Not like marking 25 bags is not a large accomplishment, but it's like the check mark accomplishment points, I guess. Draw the lines for boxing on your bags. Check. Right. Which is not, I don't know, doesn't sound as daunting as like trim all the box edges without lines. I don't know. Guys, it's all made up. Who knows anymore? But it's like one of those bluebird sky days in Alberta. The Rockies are looking glorious today. And I'm here. I've done my exercise. We are caffeinating. And we're going to go see... Oh, right. No, I do need to sew one thing. I had been realizing as I was doing my inventory that I forgot to send my aunt-in-law a strap for her bag. And then we're seeing her tonight. So I'm going to, like, get that done. I just realized. Should actually check. I don't know if she wanted leather or if she wanted webbing. Webbing we can just sew. Well, either of them is easy enough. I just got to remember which one to do. La 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 la. Also need to charge my phone. Holy. Nope. Okay. So I need to go into orders. Sorry, I could have done this off camera, but I thought about it earlier and then I forgot promptly. So let's do this while I'm thinking about it. No, but it's gonna be like, oh God. Get past all those. Nancy was busy, y'all. So there's a lot of like orders on. Dahlia, hey. Yeah, don't scratch my chair. Okay. It was for 2 items for sure. I think she was there around about. We would have done. Okay, a webbing strap. Okay, black. Good. I thought that's what it was, but just better to double check before I commit myself to making that. And you know what? We're going to do that right now so that I don't have to think about it again for the rest of the day. Because we're going for dinner around 6-ish. And I've got a text message probably from my father-in-law about it because I asked him if... Cool, yep. 6-ish. She literally just texted me that. Excellent. Okay. So typically what I would do for a webbing strap is I would actually get the snipper thing. Not the snipper thing, but the... I would get out a heat knife. Since we're only cutting one and etc. And I have a lighter like right here. We're just going to skip the thing. And if you're like, Katie, now you could go in and stitch those like... the dark stitching. Yeah, I know. We'll probably do them afterwards. We're going to focus in on the... Well, probably not actually because I want to finish the white ones. Anyway, I don't know. We'll figure it out. This needs to be done though. So, okay. Ooh, that's a big fray, so I'll trim that down. You can see better over the white here. And then we'll singe it. Otherwise you end up with like a massive like gloop of polypro. It's already a pretty gnarly end anyway. Don't touch hot plastic. It will burn you and it will stick around and keep burning you. Alrighty. Coffee. Yoga was also good today, but I forgot how much this teacher, she's subbing for one that I really like. The teacher's fine, but I forgot how much she likes to do, what is it? It's like so many downward dogs and so many vinyasas. It almost felt like a good half to 75% of the class was like in either downward dog or doing a vinyasa. And I'm like, okay. Vinyasa being where you go to plank and then you like basically do a push up and then a back bend. I guess a push down, like you put yourself onto the ground and do the back bend and then like push yourself back up, typically to downward dog. Anyway, a lot of the times it's like in conjunction with what's called a sun salutation, which is that whole like lift up, heart down, forward fold, touch your toes. Anyway, still good. Just, yeah, I forgot about that. But my favorite teacher is back in like 2 weeks, and I am so excited for them. So that'll be good. I know I said that I was prepping. I know I just saw a bunch of people come in. I know I said I was prepping small box bags. That is the main thing today. But I'm going to be seeing my aunt-in-law, and I just remembered today that I have not sent her the strap that she paid for at Vibrations in August. So I was like, oh shit. Let's get that sewn, because then I don't have to pay for shipping. And she gets her strap. Kill two birds with one stone, right? Okay, we need the hardware. Where the fuck is the hardware? Right there. Okay, so we need 2 snap hooks, 2 plastic snap hooks, and a slider. There we go. We do need to go in and make a shit ton of straps coming up here, but today we'll just focus in on this one. Okay, goes over here, and then we're gonna do this right there. Yeet off, thank you. Gonna do that, and then that's gonna be the bottom, and then so this has to go through up here, like that, and down through here, like that. So basically, the easiest way to do this is to pull the majority of the strap through, and then the snap hook goes here. And yes, when I make the polypropylene ones, which is a plastic webbing, polypropylene, I do use plastic hardware just because it slides well. The polypropylene itself is actually quite light. The plastic is a very lightweight hardware. Just it makes it better in general. All right, now we're gonna sew this one here. And since these are sealed on the ends, well, these ones aren't getting folded over because no fraying is going to happen. I usually only fold over when there's fraying. That's going to happen. I can't remember if I did do that on the other ones, but whatever. Not this one. It's going to hold just as well. Lots of stitching back and forth, just to basically chaos stitching to make the strap. There we go. And finally, fucking done. I just kept, it's not that I like meant to do that, just I kept forgetting about it. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to, well, I'm going to turn off my machine so that I don't step on it when I get back down, because today was not supposed to be a sewing day. And then I'm going to run this up to sit with my coat so I don't forget it tonight. Whee! See you in a moment. Okay, up the stairs. Delia's like, oh God! Ah! You're coming for me. It's like, I'm just coming down the stairs. Don't kill us. Okay. That one's ready to go. Sweet. Task complete. to doing the small box bags and transferring their cut lines. We are like a month out from Japan. Yes, which is amazing. I'm really hoping it's like the last few years, the most miserable weather has been in February. Like cold, mostly cold. Usually like a huge dump of snow and then like minus 40 for a week. So I'm really hoping going to Japan during that time period means that we avoid that. And I think it does. It'll be so good if we do. Also hoping, well, it better keep the doldrums away too. So it's like February, March is a really tough time. I think we did a pretty good job last year because I was so fucking busy. But yeah, usually like March is not fun for either Dallas or I. Is it sad? Like SAD, seasonal affective? Probably. A little bit cabin fever. A little bit SAD. Just hits all at the same time. Okay, this one's far enough off that I'm going to cut those separate. No, this is still a big change. Usually what I was doing previously is trimming these down after I sewed the end seams. However, I saw someone do them before and it just makes more sense. There's less seam to sew, so less thread used. And also it's like, oh, I see part of the issue up here is that the center line is not actually centered. Okay, so that one's okay up there. Yeah, it's just been working out better, so I'll take it. We're good. Sometimes you figure out efficiencies from a freaking YouTube video and it's like life-changing. And now the counts begin. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more dark ones, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more. So 10, 8 more dark ones and 11 more. So 19 left of 25-ish. And then I do still have 25 left that need like the bags are basically at the point of needing top stitching. And then this step. So we're going to finish these ones so that I at least have some ready for Ancient Arts, like the pop-up on the 31st. And then I think we are still going to go in and pick. We're going to go in and pick stuff for minis, Cambridges, because everyone is losing their mind about the Cambridge. So I really do want to make sure that I've got some of those ready. More of those ready for sure. Aberdeens and Traveler Slings and Kato. And I'm just going to keep adding on apparently. I know I had the list. The list is already dead, guys. I need to write a new list. Because like the Stitch and Go case is really good, but I don't know if I can commit the time to like the cutting and the making of it before January 31st. What is it? It's the 8th. We got 3 weeks. I don't know. 3 weeks. I think we could do, well, maybe we'll do like 3. I don't know. That doesn't feel like enough, but at the same time, it can just be like a soft launch, I guess. I don't know. I do tend to overcommit to products, and then they're like, oh, they're such a good idea, and then they don't sell. The Cambridge is obviously one that I will do more of because of the response it's received. And I know for sure we want the Aberdeen in more quantity than we had the Dundurn for sure as well. So those are a couple factors there. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. 25 small box bags is a good start for the year though. And it's using up whip bin stuff. So, and if you're watching, look at me go. We are using up whip bin bags. We're doing it. And the Katos will also come from the whip bin because they're like, there's a lot in there that haven't been finished yet. The reason why the Kato bin is overburdened with fabrics right now is because I decided to discontinue the large box bag, but the large box bag cuts make Kato bags. So it is more full than we ended the year with, but for good reason, because that was part of the tidy up, as I distributed the large box bag cuts and stuff into there too. Like within the tidy up, there was also reorganization. So there's that. The other thing I gotta do is I gotta do the de-stash fabrics, and that will be an update. I just realized I probably want to try and do that for mid-month, so that I have time to like, oh, and we got customs to do too. Okay, so we're gonna need to dedicate a day to custom orders. And then we need to dedicate a day to, I don't know, 21 days. Because the pop-up's on the 31st. Ooh, that's really far off. Now, is that because this is misaligned, or, okay, we just didn't have that much fabric. Excellent. That's not that bad. More coffee. Maybe we'll work on customs over the weekend while the kids are home or something. Actually, although Saturday I need to go into the city. I really want to take them to the zoo if it's nice, so maybe we'll do that. I need to message that woman. Eldest has skate lessons with her kindergarten, which is super cool because I am a terrible skater. Always have been. Zero interested in it anymore because, like, when I was a kid, I was constantly falling, and I'd have like black and blue knees for like 2 weeks after skating once. Just, I think. Okay, one of the yoga poses today tells me that my ankles are still very, very, very weak. Like intensely so. Like cramping up the whole leg. Basically it was like my outer hip here is definitely, I'm trying to say loose, that is not it. Weak. And then my ankle is definitely weak as well because I could feel the like balance work in it, and it was just traveling up this whole outer line. And I have a feeling that that's something that has just been around since I was a kid. And so skating, which is a balance game, really, on blades, just was never in the cards. But anyway, I want the kids to learn, but it's not on me. Just like skiing is not on me, it's on Dallas as well. But anyway, kindergarten's gonna go do. And I was like, shit, we gotta go get her some skates this weekend. So I was like, perfect, we'll go to like one of the second chance sports stores. And I had emailed the kindergarten originally and was like, hey, do you have like any spares? Do we need to bring our own? Blah, 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 blah. Never responded. But then it turned out that they did actually have skates for them. So I'm like, yes. We still need to go get, they've got skates and a helmet. We'll need to go get them a ski helmet, but that's okay. That's something we can do when Dallas is home now. Yeah, because they're going to go skiing with my brother-in-law, Dallas's brother, on Friday, I think. So we'll have to get something for them before that. And then Dallas can take them skating whenever. Just like, I am not a winter activity person. I would say I'm sorry, but... And even, the thing about it too is it's like when I was younger, skiing was, it still is, it hasn't gotten better. Skiing is fucking expensive. And like the equipment is expensive. So just, we never had the money to do it when I was younger. And then you get older and it's like, I've tried. I had lessons and I didn't mind it, but it was like, it's something that's so expensive to get into that I didn't like it enough to put the money into getting better at it. So I'm just like, whatever, I'll sit down at the lodges. I know Dallas wants to go for skiing in Japan when the kids are a bit older, and I agree with that. And I'm like, and I will sit at the lodge and enjoy myself. I'll bring my knitting or whatever, something to do. So the next trip we take with the kids, I want to go in like April so that I want to go see the wisteria again. The weather's so nice then. It's like traded the cold for like actually nice weather. It's not cherry blossom season, but you can see like late cherry blossoms sometimes. Like just, it's got a lot of good perks to it for traveling to Japan in April. I do eventually want to run Kyoto, but it's not in the cards in the next few years. I need to do a lot of strength training. I need to figure out this energy thing with the medication I'm on now. And I don't want to be doing 6-hour training runs. So I think I'll attempt Kyoto once I'm down to 2.5-hour half, which is probably 2 years. So not this year, but next year. So then I would go for Kyoto in 28, I think, which I think is kind of what we discussed before too. But no marathon training in the next couple of years. I'm tired. And I want to be doing, I don't know what else I want to be doing, but it's not that right now. Sorry, I've hit the whinge point of like marathon training apparently. It's just like, I'm tired. I am done. I just like, I want to go run the race. I still have, I think I've got 3 more 10Ks, which isn't bad. So a 10K, a 5K, any distance that you're running, it's fucking amazing. I'm just going to say that because it's honest to God. I can barely still run a mile some days. Some days I can, some days I can't. Some days I walk because my system, like last night, I did go for my run last night. And it was like halfway through the run, the snack I had had before getting on the treadmill was like, hey, heartburn, here you go. I'm like, what the fuck? So that was fun. Anyway, but it's like, so when I am saying that I have like 3 more 10K runs, and then if I ever say it's only a 10K, it's because it's in comparison to the like 30 plus kilometer runs. That's why it's just a 10K. That is your distance. Amazing. That's all I'm running. That's the highest number I'm running for the rest of the year is 10. Oh no, that's a lie. I'm doing a half. I keep forgetting I'm like, we just did our sign-ups for races yesterday, and I keep forgetting that I was already signed up for Calgary. Whoops. Oh God. Anyway, we've got, what do we get? We got Calgary half in May, and then Dallas signed me up for the 10K for road race, which is the one that I've been doing consistently as the 10K for the past few years. So it's kind of the one that I go and like test myself on because it's consistent. Pretty consistent weather, consistent course, blah, 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 blah. Camor, which which I'm doing only the 5K on again because last year was a shitty run out there and I don't know why, but whatever. I think there's a lot of smoke in the air, and that was like right on my period, because of course it was right before, and I only started Ozempic like the month before, so like first period on it with that calorie reduction was not fun. I was so tired, like fatigue sort of tired. And if you've done a calorie deficit before, you probably know what I'm talking about, or like just haven't been able to, like, it's like that flu tired when you can't keep food down sort of tired. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm gonna go challenge that 5K again because honestly it is the flattest 5K course in this area. Like, it is flatter than Cochrane. That's why I was so disappointed when I didn't break my own PB in Canmore, because I was like, what? It's flat. But anyway, compared to the rest of the, like, there's one climb and I think the last kilometer, but that's it. The course I did PB on last year, they're not hosting the race this year, so it's like, damn it. It was in April. And then we have our first like 4-person family 5K, which is gonna be fun. That's the Dash of Doom, which is a Halloween race. We are not doing Red Deer again. Oh my god, that was a terrible half for me. I'm so glad I just went, all right, this is a long training run with a medal at the end and a beer. It included a beer and a medal at the end. It's just such a bad race for me. But again, October, so what, like 2 months. So, and I actually, the problem with that one is I just upped the dose on the Ozempic as well. So like GI issues were definitely rearing their head a little bit more. Yay. Ridiculous. Anyway, my new shoes seem to felt good running last night, so that was good. They're very flashy, and they got sparkly soles, which is fucking cool. They're Asics. And part of what I've been running in Brooks Ghosts for a while, but they really ate my feet in the last iteration that there was. So we went and I got glycerins, which are cushier, like a lot of foam. Probably. And that's what I was noticing was had broken down on those shoes is the foam's actually creased. They have nearly 500 kilometers on them. So, most training advice I think is like, especially at my weight, they should be replaced, I think, around 400 to 600 kilometers. So I'll do some shorter runs on them, but it's not worth injuring myself. I was really hoping I could limp them through. Mostly because I didn't want to spend the money on new shoes. Because good shoes are not cheap. It's so annoying. But I think we got a good balance between the two of like, so basically what I told the guys is like, I really like the glycerins, but where I'm at right now is that I need my shoes to give me back more energy. So the glycerins, basically you footfall and it absorbs the energy. So you're not getting the same muscle fatigue from like impact damage, I guess would be the best description, from constant, right? And since I'm on my feet for like, the goal is 6 hours, I'm going to be on my feet for a really fucking long time. So that was the idea, especially when I was still training for Calgary, because with Calgary, I was aiming for like 6.5 hours. It's a reasonable goal because the last one I ran was like 6:47. So 17 minutes off a marathon is still 17 minutes off a marathon. But anyway, and so those worked well. But then I was training in the ghosts as well, and I noticed that the glycerins suck up a lot of that feedback that you can get from shoes. So I think we found a good balance because I told him it's like, okay, I really like the like cushioning of the glycerin, but I really want more energy feedback. And I'm not spending like $300 on a pair of race day shoes. It's not that serious for me. So yeah, I think he balanced it really well because it's like, so there's a couple options. I had the New Balance 1080s, which would have worked, but they felt weird on the upper. We tried a Saucony and I put it on. It was just like, no. That's like, I didn't even stand up in them. They just felt really fucking weird on my foot. And so we ended up with these ASIC Nova Blasts, and they actually have one called Tokyo, and I'm like, oh, I should have like seen if they had those. I wonder if those might have been the race day shoes, which yeah, we're not going for. But anyway, they're very vibrant green, like neon green. They've got gold sparkles in the soles, and they've got a cushy sole, and it feels like not a plate in the foot of the shoe, which is what race day shoes typically have, but they're more solid. Well, not like layer. So pretend this is my foot, and then this is the sole. And so that layer between your foot and the sole felt like it had more like energy feedback. So I'm excited. I tried them out last night. I was annoyed that I had the heartburn in the middle because honestly, I do think they were doing really good. Like I had to turn the treadmill up to get into the proper training zone, sort of. They were doing really good. So I have a 10K tomorrow and we'll test them out on that and see. And then I can yay or nay them. I've got 2 weeks to find out if they're good for me or not. And realistically, if all else fails, I can always go get the glycerins that I tried on as well. Because shock and amazement. So I've been telling people that I need a woman's wide for like, since I started running again after kids. It's like, I need a 10 wide. I need a 10 wide. I need a 10 wide. Woman's 10 wide. Well, no, you just need to go up half a size in the shoe. And it's like, that's what we did on the glycerins. And then this guy did bring out, to be fair, he did bring out the glycerins at the beginning in a woman's wide. Do you know how glorious it was to put those on? Holy fuck. They were some of the most comfortable shoes I've put on since I started running, probably. So I think the next pair of training, I don't know. I might end up with 2 pairs of shoes, so like one long run pair, which would still be the glycerins because still reducing the impact on my legs, and then just not running in them for like racing and stuff like that. And then these Nova Blasts for like the actual like race days and some of the longer runs as well, just to make sure that they're still like in good shape. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Doesn't really matter. Nova Blasts are actually a little bit cheaper than the glycerins, probably because they have a like tiny bit less foam. Anyway, talk about cat problems. My running shoes need to be this. Heard someone else call it champagne problems. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. But anyway, big goals for this year are, well, the marathon is big goal, right? It's like finish the marathon. The 6-hour goal is because it's got a 7-hour total time cutoff. It starts at 9:15 though, and very likely the wave that I'm going to be in is the one that doesn't start until like 9:45. And so the 7-hour cutoff is from gun time. So I'm working on the assumption that I will have 6.5 hours to run the full thing. Which is why I'm aiming for a 6-hour marathon. Everything is pointing to I should be able to do it. Fingers crossed, but everything is pointing that way. Strava is pointing that direction. Yes, I use Strava, but it's actually super useful because it does give you like the general predictions and stuff like that. And it is still it's actually saying that I would have a slower half marathon time right now, but that also does not surprise me if I were to have a slower half time right now. And this is based on a lot of treadmill training, which is very different from outdoor training too, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Actually, if it's nice enough tomorrow, I might try and run outside tomorrow. Oh, but it's a 10K. It's only supposed to be -1, or it's supposed to be like, that's not that cold. Nope, 10K on the treadmill because the shoes have to stay clean until I decide whether I'm returning them or not. After last night's run, I don't think so, but I'm going to just make sure. So yeah, we'll do a long run on the treadmill this week, and then if I approve them, we'll try and get out next week, because the next few like long runs are only 10Ks versus above 10K. Yeah, like, so this week, next week, and the following week are all 10Ks, and then the final week, Dallas is home before Japan, it's like 20 to 23 miles, which is that 32 to 38K, and I'm like, I should go to 38K, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I might go to only very huge quotation marks around that, but that 6 kilometers does make a fucking big difference. Or I guess it's 37K, but yeah, whatever. Those 5K make a big difference. At the same time, it would be good to push my body beyond the 30K wall by a significant amount. I don't find I wall right now on the treadmill at 30K. I find that I wall at about 14K. That's when it's like, ugh, this is stupid. What the fuck am I doing? And it's like, that is when I wall on the half as well. And at least on the half, that's like 2/3 of the way. So it's like, you're very solidly in the like single digit territory. Walling at 14K for a marathon, you're only 1/3 of the way in. So that's where I've got to fight off my demons, is that third mark. Now there's multiple factors. I won't be running at altitude in Osaka. Osaka is quite low and quite flat. Now granted, I've been mostly running on a treadmill, so it's flat for days if I wanted. But yeah, those are a couple of the factors. There will be people cheering. There'll be people there. There's support crews, so like I don't have to manage that too much or as much. It's a race, which is always more motivating. Yeah, like a bunch of different factors for sure. Okay, good. I did mark that in the right spot. So I'm currently listening to Empire of the Vampire. I knew it was gory. I forgot just quite how gory it is in actuality. I'm enjoying it, but it is definitely dark. Actually, I was reading basically an op-ed piece on Instagram the other day of like, the only reason the women's version of high fantasy is called romantasy is because it's written by a woman. And like, so they actually compared it to J. Kristoff's books, and it's like, this is romantasy, but because it was written by a man, it's high fantasy. But none of the plot points would happen without the romance. So what gives? And yeah, honestly, even having only read the first book, and from what I remember of the first book, I would agree with that. Because it's like, why is Throne of Glass now being called like romantasy when it is in fact high fantasy? That sort of shit. Like, yeah. But at the same time, if it sells more books, I'm not going to actually get mad at it. We want more people reading. We want people reading all sorts of shit. So, I don't care. Market it how you need to so more people read it. 'Cause we need more readers in the world. I say that, and it is the one place that I feel really bad. Not like, just we don't read to the kids all as much as we should. I feel really bad about it. I know that they get read to at school and stuff like that, but I'm like, that is something we need to do at home. However, what is very exciting is that in the last like 10 days, they've both showed a marked interest, increased interest in reading. I'm like, all right, maybe we're not completely failing at this. Yeah, so we'll see. Right now, the eldest that they keep bringing to me is Amy Wu and the Patchwork Dragon, which is so fucking adorable. I read that last night, so I have a feeling we'll probably read it again tonight. And they got Dragon Masters in their stocking this year, which is a it's like an early grade chapter book, so it's got like illustrations and everything like that, larger font, but like a very cohesive storyline. It's got like 37 volumes or something insane now too, though. But it's cute. I don't know, I enjoy it when I read it to them. And Santa figured that was a good one to bring this year, because then we're not having to take out like 15,000 books from the library constantly. Just occasionally. Okay, everything is marked. Now to the trimming. My scrap bins, they overfloweth, so I don't know where the scraps are going to go. The cuts are going to go. But we can split them up between Japanese and North American, I guess. So, and then we'll set it aside and we'll clip twill in after everything is trimmed down. Also been like purging stuff on Facebook Marketplace and stuff, and I think we might have sold the double stroller, which is exciting. And actually, I'm not in a rush to sell it, but it would be nice if it was gone. But I'm like, it's also worth exactly what I'm asking for it, so I will wait. But yeah. Nice to get it out of the garage, and then we have more space for like bikes and stuff like that for the kids. And I'm both like, yay, and bittersweet about that too. I honestly already miss the stroller. It's nice being able to like bundle them up into it and you just go. Although at the same time, it's like we had hit the point of there were constant fights in it because it was a side-by-side. So yeah, and we just weren't using it anymore. Like as of I think April last year, it just started to be more work than it was worth. So hey. We do, however, have some hefty umbrella strollers for Japan, because I was like, we're not going with 2 preschool or kindergarten kids without a stroller to Japan. So that was good. I'm like, even if that's the only trip we use them for, it'll be worth the cost of them. And we can resell them afterwards. More coffee. thumb's already like, you're back to this again already? I was like, yes, yes we are. Get it together. We've hit the point of it's too bright. Let the blind open. Yay. Still a bit too bright, but at least it's not completely blinding. So I'm just basically double checking to make sure that like everything is aligned as it's supposed to be before I trim, because the whole idiom of measure twice, cut once applies also in sewing. So basically mine is check twice, cut once. Keep those piles separate. Keep those piles separate. And then after this, we'll go in and we will chain piece all of the end seams, and then we'll see where we're at. It's only 2:30, so in theory, I should be able to get at least the twill into them, and maybe start boxing them before I gotta go get the kids. I think that's where we're gonna be at. I would say I'm gonna try and be on tonight, but you know what? I haven't been following through on that, so I don't know. Or I might come down and I might sew stuff in and listen to an audiobook. That might also happen. Because if I can get these like wrapped up to finishing seams for tonight, that would be perfect. Because then tomorrow we could go in and do some cutting selections. Okay. Also feel like having a nap. Holy crap. Actually, that makes sense after spin, I guess. Spin yoga. It's a different like energy output than running. Some days at least. Do you think the whole like trace out the box and then cut them all at the same time is probably the way to go, which is nice. I approve. Sometimes the brain waves are beneficial. And I know for sure that doing it the boxing now rather than like when I after I've sewn the edges is definitely faster. So that's nice too. curious how many are here. We've got about 25 to sew in this pile. And then there's one that's nearly done that we'll throw into the mix. Actually, there might be 26 here, I'm not sure. And that's where we're gonna call the small box bags for now. And we'll do more later in the year. But these are a lot of the whip ones that we had cut out already. Or like, these ones are the ones that were nearly done. There are still a bunch of ones that are cut that we haven't touched yet. Yay. Yay, yes. But they're in a bin in the, I think I put them in the cutting room for now. Or not the cutting room, the fabric room, just to like, so they're stored away from the works in progress that are like, all right, and this is almost done. Or if we do these like 3 steps, we're done sort of thing, so. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh my goodness, we're not that far. Oh shit. I shouldn't have counted. Anyway, this will clear up enough in this whip bin. Basically what I'm going to do after this is we'll move it over behind me. And then we just know that like these are nearly done, and then we'll finish them. Maybe we'll finish them between Japan and like the beginning of April or something like that, so that they're done for April. And it'll be a nice like gentle ease back in after Japan. Cause yeah, reverse jet lag is gonna be a bitch on this end, isn't it? Too. Oh well. Oh well. I'm just thinking more with the kids than even me. Actually, I've noticed since typically, well, last 2 trips since I've come home and had shit to do right away, there is no opportunity to have jet lag in some ways. It's like, all right, you're home. Here's your new schedule. Figure it the fuck out. Okay, now we're into the dark ones here. Actually, so let's do a count on the ones that need white twill, and then we can count the ones that need dark twill. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 need white twill. 11 white twill, 11 white twill. Do. 11 white twill. 11 white twill. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that's nice about this is it's like, now I don't have to pick these like scraps apart, so they're so much easier to use for buttons and stuff like that, instead of like having them stitched together as I used to do, and then having to like open up every single scrap. It was a pain in the butt. So. Always nice to make other processes easier as well. I'm just gonna finish this one and then I go up to the washer. So break time. If you need any bevies or snacks, it's a good opportunity. Not like I think that you're like sitting there staring at me as I'm cutting out small box bags, but thank you if you are. Not expected. Go fuck off and do what you need to do. Is if I'm playing in the background, awesome. All good. It's not like this is super riveting because we're not working with rivets right now either. But I will be back in a couple minutes here. Okay. I have actually returned. I'm back. Okay. We have what, like 19 of these left or something? I don't remember. 14 maybe now? Doesn't matter. Just do the things. Guess we're just going to enjoy some ASMR cutting for a few minutes because I don't have a lot of stories right now. Yay. It's literally like more stories are going to be loading. We will be going to Japan. There will be stuff to talk about when I get back. Maybe more chaos. Who knows? It's always chaos. It's going to be interesting traveling with the kids. My sister-in-law was like, yeah, it's like 16 hours, right? And I'm like, no. That's why we went with WestJet. Okay, actually, never mind. I was like, ASMR. But we're going to harp on one of the issues I've still been having with WestJet and their trans-Pacific flights. They still have not posted a menu. However, I did find some flight reviews of like food, and then one of the guys that is an Omatsuri organizer is there right now, and they flew WestJet. So he said that the meal itself was decent, but then the like sandwiches, like basically breakfast, the second meal was not very good. He's like, we packed Subway, and I'm extremely glad we did. I'm like, oh no. So, although then I saw a couple other reviews, and honestly, they didn't look that bad. Although I guess I only saw one review going out of Calgary, and I saw one review leaving Japan. And it does look like the food leaving Japan is a little bit better. Although, it still looks better than Zip Air. So, Zip Air is the like ultra low cost carrier of JAL, Japan Airlines, and they have flights out of Vancouver, and they have lie flat business seats for $1,000, which hey, not bad. That is one way, and I have seen them as low as like $700 one way. However, that includes nothing. Literally, you are paying for your seat. So I guess if you're like getting on that plane and you like take an Ambien and pass out, I don't know, right? Because the guys that was even doing the flight review was like, yeah, I had like a 2 hour sleep. But I'm like, it really doesn't sound worth enough to pay that, even that, for like 2 hours worth of sleep. And because I've looked at this before, and it's like, it doesn't include luggage. It doesn't include any food. Usually with business class, there's an amenity kit. No, you got to pay extra for that. for us, the other factor is it's like I would need to book 2 flights basically because I'd have to book a flight to Vancouver plus this flight. And I'm just like, eh. And then on top of it, it's like, yeah, and then also it is a, I don't even know where I was going there. The big thing that I get hung up on is the luggage. So, anyway, yeah, my sister-in-law's like, yeah, you're traveling with like 2 kids for 16 hours. I'm like, no, that's why we're going on the WestJet flight. A little bit of convenience versus maybe a little bit of comfort. I don't know. We'll see how this one goes. But like, basically, this is going to inform our points collection for the next few years. I think it's time to drop the Air Miles card because its usefulness has diminished in the last, since BMO took over. Granted, Air Miles was going to go bankrupt, pretty sure over the pandemic, probably when people were not traveling. But, yeah, I just don't think it's worth it anymore. So basically, it's now a battle between Air Canada and WestJet. So we'll see how the international flight is with WestJet, because before we've only really done transcontinental. So we have, like, WestJet is really good for connecting Calgary to the world. Makes sense. It's headquartered in Calgary. However, I will take some inconvenience for better service. Now, I'm not going to say that Air Canada has been amazing in the past, but they have also seemed to be taking a lot of the complaints against them and really stepped their game up. So, hang tight. Flight review loading, I guess. However, saving like 5.5 to 6 hours with kids is worth a potentially bad meal on an airplane. We're also going to take that into perspective as well for us. So, plus it's still on a Dreamliner and everything like that. So like the Dreamliner itself is a nice plane. So, oh no, I didn't mark an edge. All right. I'm already getting asked about that Cambridge. So I think we're going to work on getting shipping to the US turned back on soon. Maybe. I don't know yet. I'm like, I say that out loud and then I'm like, oh, I see why. So it's fine. Do like a, there. My big thing is just like, these should be like product of Canada as far as I know. They should qualify for made in Canada. It's just whether they count the fabric as, like the bag as fabric forward or as, because some yarns, even if they get dyed in Canada, but then they don't qualify for the like transformation. You have to do a certain amount of work with imported goods to make them qualify as made in Canada. So I'm like, I still don't know. I need to talk to someone about it. I think it's the big thing. I think it's going to be fairly easy once I actually like get that sorted out. And then it's just figuring out how to actually charge those duties and taxes at checkout for my US customers. And how to remit them. I think I just pay them direct at Chit Chats or whoever, like the carrier, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I do not know. And I'm tired. I did, however, start my like sales count today for taxes, so that was good because I have like on Thursdays classes start at 9:30 and I dropped the kids off at like 8:20. I did not wait around to do kindergarten drop off. I dropped the eldest off upstairs. I was like, for 10 whole minutes. Whatever, it's fine. Give me an extra 10 minutes at the coffee shop to like and get my shit done. So I took it today. But anyway, I did start that. I shoebox account. Or shoebox. Yeah, shoebox accounting. Which means that all of my, like, receipts were in the... I did actually have the majority of them in a very specific spot. So that's good. I think there's a couple that are probably wandering around I got to check for. And I need to email or call the hotels we stayed at this year to be like, all right, I need the bills again, please. Because, yeah. One of the big things I need to do is I need to add a file folder to the truck. Because then I can add the, just put the receipts in there as we travel and such, which would be a big help, actually. Okay, it's the second line. 3 more. And then it's twilling time. Woohoo! Just so you know, if it's 25 bags, that is 100 box edges. So if you're like, this is taking a long time. Yes. Yes, it has. And yes, if you actually add up the interior and exterior, it's actually technically 200. But since I'm cutting them together, I won't count them separately. It will, however, be 200 box edges to sew. That's always the fun part. Actually, now that we're like only making... Actually, we should also pop in the sew-in tab too. Oh shit, I really do need to make an order of those, don't I? Yep. Crap. Okay. I think I found a place to get some. But, yeah. And I think they're comparable pricing. I just want to make sure that they like can actually do the full color label like we have right now. So I need to actually measure the labels where I got hung up the other day. So because I think it's 1 inch and like 1/4 or 1.5 inches wide. That's what I don't know. What I need to figure out before I committed to an order. All right, last corner box here. Okay. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that matches up with what I have in my head for what numbers we have here. These are all scraps that are going to go in for like the stuffing scraps and stuff like that. Then the Japanese scraps are going in the button making box right now. Wherever the hell that went. It's like I tidied up, things are in the places they should be, and then I can never fucking find anything. It's like, goddamn. Means I probably should tidy up more often, but we all know that's not going to happen, so who am I even joking? I am. Okay, so 14 black twill and 11 natural off-white twill. I am going to turn on some extra lights here because now the sun is covered by clouds. Okay, good. Gave myself small T trauma the other day because I was like, I forgot to actually turn the mic back on after I came back from a BRB, and I was like, no. I don't know how long I yammered on for without realizing either. It was like I went to go on another snack break after the first break and realized that I hadn't turned the mic back on when I went to mute the mic again. I was like, oh my god. So annoying. All right. 14 black. So 1, 2. I almost feel like we should just trim up the rest of this one. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Why not? May as well. And then it's ready for the next round. Nice. I think this is maybe only the second roll of twill we've actually finished, which is pretty fucking awesome. Where are my pinky shears? But they're right here. We'll at least make sure we've got enough for like... Yeah, can I do that? Yeah. Go. 2, so that's 5. 7. 8. Just because it being like off is annoying the hell out of me. 8. 10. 12. 14. All right, so that's everything that we need for right now. So let's just go in and do the rest of these. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm not going to fully trim these down. I'm only going to trim them down to like the half points, but that's fine. If you're like, are you sure you're going to make that many small box bags? Yeah, actually I am. We're going to make this many and more. This is like barely the start of it right now. Because Knit City is in Calgary this year, so as long as I'm accepted, we'll be doing the things, which means crazy sewing amounts this summer again. Oh yeah, I gotta double check when summer camps open back up, because we are not going to their preschool. We're gonna go for SLS, I think, which is like our pool center. They do like some really cool stuff, even for the age group we're in. So I'm excited for that because I think it'll be good. They'll get like, so the youngest is going to be out of, or is going to be still there next year, but the eldest will be out because they're coming home to homeschool, which, yes, we will figure out how to work the business around that. I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. And then yeah, the youngest will continue with that preschool and hopefully with the kindergarten that is there that the eldest is in right now. I don't know if I was mentioning this earlier, but it's like, I think this kindergarten's really, 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 really good for the kids. And I am having a terrible experience as a parent. I don't like it. So, but the child is thriving. So, at least I think they are. Thriving enough, at least. Oh God, no, don't get jammed. Ah, fuck. Come on. Am I going to do it on this side too? Yes. Okay. That side was smaller because it didn't have the one extra fold. But yeah, I do need to figure out all the stuff for next year. I need to email the school board that we're probably going to go with and figure out if they have like a curriculum they suggest or not. I need to find something secular that's comparable to the program that I did as a kid, which was ABECA out of Florida, but it's very Christian. And I have nothing against Christianity as a religion. Don't have anything against any of the religions, actually, really, unless they're causing harm, which certain factions do. However, I do also think that we don't need to be learning math based on Noah's Ark. So, yeah, I want that robust of a program, but secular. And I don't know if I'm looking for a unicorn or not. So, I actually do need to figure that out like now, so we have time to get all the stuff we need for schooling with it too. So if anyone's a homeschooler and has feedback, I would adore hearing it. I know there's a lot more options too. I would still argue that that's one of the nice things with the pandemic is the virtual schooling options has like exploded. So that's nice too. Because like when I was homeschooling, it was very much very new. Like I was the first student through on a program. And it wasn't terrible, but the issue was that they took a public school program and then put me in it online. So it just kind of didn't work, right? Because public school programs are built to be taught in a public school, not to be learned from home. Or for home, they're not meant for home-based learning. So, and the other thing is I want different options for virtual and stuff like that, because there's topics I don't have enough knowledge on or whatever, or like if the kids learn better from someone else, like, because this has to work for all of us. There we go. One eensy weensy little tail, but that is the rest of that twill cut. Hell yeah. So there's a nice big pile now for later. Basically, I'll just put it back in the drawer where it came from. Maybe. And we'll cut the white while we're here on this step as well, because why not? Okay. And then we'll go in and we'll clip it all in. Now, I think at this point, we are going to end up just clipping in, maybe not sewing a lot of the seams. That's why I've gotten quite a bit of work done today as it is. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sweet, I need to do like, it's perfect. Okay, even like rolled an appropriate amount off. Yay, yes. I don't even have nails and it was hard to pick up. Damn it. Okay. All the nails popped off. They struggled, but they were rated for a 1 week wear, and you guess what? They were done after a week, but they like broke. All the little like glued on gems popped off. It was one of the worst pairs I've had so far. Of this brand, at least. I definitely had, well, the Christmas nails I had also wore out really fast, I guess. So, I don't know. It's okay, though, because I actually have a set of nails that I want to put on for this author event on Tuesday, because they are far too fucking perfect. They're like, so the author event is for Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars that we've been reading for book club. And the nails are like navy with constellations on them, and I'm like, perfect, that's exactly what we're doing. So the only nail I actually have to take off right now is my thumbnails, and they're because they broke as soon as I like the one time I touched the kid's buckle. No, I know I'm not supposed to, like, I know they're long nails, I should be taking care of them, but also first time I went to get the kids out and I broke both nails on both thumbs on the same day, because, or like within 2 days of each other, because one is the right hand thumb to get them out and one is the left hand thumb to get them out. So they're still hanging on, but all the other ones came off in the last couple days. And I think I did them on like Tuesday night because I was like, I want New Year's nails. They're cute for that. New Year's nails, and I want them on during my run because flashy and pretty. Sparkles help you run faster. Totally, right? That's how this works. I don't make the rules. It's just how it works. I might actually head up for a nap before I pick up the kids, just so I'm not super cranky with them. It's not the worst idea I've had. By the way, I have been streaming the last few days, but they are YouTube is having an upload issue right now, so hang tight. They should be available soon. I know it was still processing when I looked like earlier today. I don't know if it is still processing. But if you're like, you're missing steps that like I know you recorded or you posted. And it's like, yes, I know. They are. Google is aware, I guess. I don't know. YouTube is aware. I don't know what's going on, guys. But they are coming, hopefully. I hope it just doesn't just like eat it. Num 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 num. It's digital snacks. Okay, so what else do we want to do? We need Kato, because I'm down to like 6 Kato. I think we need 6 total Cambridge. 6 traveler sling. I guess the question becomes not necessarily, it's how many do we want of stuff like the Kato. I think we should try for a dozen Kato. Does that sound insane right now? It's January 8th. Next show is the 31st. 30th is a write-off. I essentially have, because Dallas is home on the 31st. So he can take the kids to bed and stuff like that week. I also have an insane run that week. So Wednesday will be a write-off that day. Completely, like I won't even come downstairs that night. But then off Thursday, and he can help me set up on Friday, so setup will be faster. So I have what, like 20 days? Let's say 20 days, because weekends and all of that jazz. I have 1 week with him home and 1 more full week of work available. Like kids are in school available sort of thing. So, okay, we've got all the twill trimmed, so now we're tucking it into the bag so that when we go to sew it, it gets the little tabby tabs so they're easy to open and close. This is one of the accessibility things that I added on when I was trialing and erroring my bags. So all of the 2 things that I typically try to have on my bags, one is a handle or some sort of connection point so that all my bags are transportable in some fashion. Typically by a wristlet handle. The only one that's kind of the exception to that is the triangle pouch, and in its case it has the 2 it has the ribbon on it, and you can use a carabiner like you would with the wedge bags to actually attach it to yourself, or you could use like a wristlet that I sell separate. However, like the small box bag, large box bag, tote bags, Kato, blah 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 blah, they all have handles in some form. The next accessibility thing that I do is the tabs, because I hate myself grabbing the like the bag to close it, so it's just like nah. So we have tabs and stuff to actually work around that. And that's something that I did actually also add to the spring roll pouch. It's one of the modifications that worked very well, is the little tabs around the zipper, especially because that one opens flat. So like the box bag has like a little lip ledge from just that forms from the actual boxing of the bag, and that like means that the zipper doesn't go all the way to the tabletop and stuff like that. But the spring roll pouch, the whole point of it is that it's open flat. And so I needed something, because otherwise you were grabbing onto the zipper, and that's going to cause more wear and tear on the zipper because you're grabbing the zipper all the time, right? So. I did remember to go get fray check and that other thing today, iron cleaner. It's the sheets, so we'll see if it cleans this iron better or not. They didn't have the stick in stock apparently, so. But I think it'll work for the iron at least. It did help on the steam press as well, but cleaning a steam press and cleaning an iron are two different beasties, so. Do still need to finish cleaning the steam press, but there's definitely some cute, more throwback fabrics. Not like OG fabrics, but the first post-pandemic trip fabrics are definitely here. I like these Sheba with retro signs. It's a fun fabric. I love this one. And actually, yes, I'm going to head out on 4. I'm going to head out at 4 to have a nap because we do have dinner out tonight with people and I don't want to be sitting there like yawning all the goddamn time. So I can go curl up and have a quick nap on the couch. What is it about like couch naps that just hit so much better than like even bed naps sometimes? It's like, and hopefully, yeah, so we got another half hour. Try and get all of these clipped in that half hour. So basically, actually what we'll go with is it's like quit the finish of the twill clips or 4 o'clock, whichever comes first, I guess. And actually, just realized the other thing I should be clipping in is actually the carrot tags. Yay, there's a whole stack here of cotton ones at least. What's back here? Cotton thread so that we can make some bowl cozies, which are still on the list for this year. Okay. Because I remember that this... Oh no, these need to go on the in... Oh, fuck me. It's like, we need to clip these in. But no, these go on the inside, not the outside, Katie. Oh well, now we got a whole stack of them for later. It's not like it's going to be that long until we actually need them anyway. Okay, good enough. I think a lot of these florals that we still have are going to end up going into the Cambridge bags, like these neon florals that are super cute, but they haven't been super popular as an actual bag. So I think putting them into a bag will look good. Actually, and I do have a slate that would look like slate gray that would look good with this. Then it'd just be pops of this neon inside this bag. I think it'd be fucking amazing. I'm really tempted to make a second one with that chrysanthemum fabric. Just say fuck it on the Kato and just make another Cambridge. I'm like, Or we could, yeah. Also want to make a couple of the totes, like, so the Aberdeen totes with, like the cotton interiors as well, or the, like, yeah, whatever, cotton linen, whatever the blend is at the time. Because we did it with that black cat with like the itty bitty bouquets, or tiny, whatever, or micro cats with the bouquets. And it's sold instantly in Knit City, so I think I need to do a few more of those. And and we already know that I'm swapping over to Aberdeen because of multiple reasons, and so I think we should do a few of those too. I just need to redo the list because the Stitch and Go case is not something we're going to put into mass production until I get back. Same with the spring roll. I think the spring roll is still very viable for Nekozuki. There's a lot going on with it, and I need a little bit more time to improve my skills on it. So I'm like at the point where it's like, I don't want to rush something. Okay, I won't rush something right now if it's obvious that it would be better if my skills improved. So I think we're going to move it past prototyping. I think that it is something that'll go into the lineup, but it's going to take some time before it hits the mainstream. I would say for both of those, I wouldn't expect to see a lot of them until Knit City. Knit City really is the kick in the ass to get shit done. So, and we got a lot of other bags to make before then anyway. And the Cambridge just comes together, like all these Dundurn or Hammer Stitch Designs bags just come together so nicely, so easily. The wax canvas is a nice counterpoint to the Japanese fabrics. So I think we'll just go with that. Oh. That honestly the wax canvas would make some cute outers for the Stitch and Go cases too, and like then you could just put Japanese fabric on the interior. It's not the worst idea I've had. Not something that we're going to pursue right now because my god, binding wax canvas might be the death of me, but it is something to keep in mind. Before that though, I'll do wax canvas traveler slings with cotton linen or cotton like Japanese fabric patterned accent. I also need to make myself, I want a mini traveler before we go to Japan, and I don't know what fabric to use for yet, so I'm gonna have to look at what I have for myself. I do have some princess fabric, so maybe we should do it from a princess fabric. That would be really cute, and then I could make matchy stuff for my kiddos. At least one of them. I do have some Pokemon fabric that I was going to make clothing out of as well, so maybe I'll try and get that done before we go. But it is a very light cotton, and Japan is not going to be like super warm when we're there, so that might need to wait till the summertime. I don't know. I will admit, one of the things I'm like super excited about for homeschooling is being able to settle into a schedule that fits us versus us fitting a schedule. Like maybe I can actually get back onto my normal sleep schedule. Because at least before kids, my like best schedule for myself was like sleep from midnight till 9 in the morning. Dallas is always like horrified by that, but it's like, no, that's still sufficient amounts of sleep. It just isn't early. Or even like 1 to 10 or something like that. I don't know what it is anymore though. So, although the kids are usually up between like 7:30, they're not like stupid early risers, which thank goodness. So like even if we were able to do a more consistent schedule of that instead of having the alarm go off at like 6, I think that will help a lot too for all of us. the frickin' table. The little clip bin can be like right beside me if I want it to be. Maybe like, no, maybe it does have to be back there. I don't know. Whatever. We're almost done the dark ones, so that's pretty impressive. I think we will get through all of these before 4, or at least very close. If I'm like 1 or 2 from the end at 4, we'll just wrap up because there's no point in leaving 1 or 2. Now, any of these zippers that are like the closed end zipper that need to be trimmed down, hell, even any of the like zipper tape that needs to be trimmed down will be trimmed down after I do these end seams, because then if there's any slippage or anything like that, or we need to tear anything out, there's enough zipper there to support those actions. If you're like, why would ripping out matter? Because sometimes zippers can fray. And so just leaving that little bit extra is always a good idea until after the majority of the work is done. And yes, once these end seams are sewn, the majority of the work is actually done. Well, the majority of the steps are done. Sewing 200 box edges is still quite daunting. Still a lot of work, but all right. 2 more dark ones, including this one. And then we have what, 11 light twill. And then we have successfully cut all the boxes and inserted all of the twill. So the next 2 steps are, we will sew the end seams, all 4 of them. And then we have to just put that extra little bit into the zipper so that there's no like holes between the interior and exterior. And then we box the edges, turn, and finish. And if you're like, Katie, that sounds like a lot. Yeah. However, it's 25 bags, so we should be able to finish that tomorrow. And then over the weekend, I am going to do the destash measuring and photographing to make sure that I want to get that up and listed before Japan, because the more fabric out of the house, the better. Now, when I say destash, I am not necessarily going to be listing at deep discount prices. Mostly it's just like, here's an opportunity to buy fabric that I'm not going to use. And that'll depend on just how, it's a lot of factors. But there'll be fat quarters, there'll be scrap packs, like larger scrap packs. There'll be yardages, there'll be some obi that we're just not able to use. All of the obi, except for a few, have been opened up, just as a heads up. And I will note that on the listing or wherever I put them, sort of thing. Yeah, it'll just be more or less, it's an opportunity to get fabrics that you wouldn't normally be able to get in Canada easily. So, or if you see a fabric and you're like, oh my God, I need that in a bag, then we can discuss that. Because some of these, I think most of these have been sewn, but it's been a while since they've been sewn, and some of them haven't made it into like the newer styles. So yeah, that's always an option as well, I guess. So like, or I missed my opportunity and I didn't think you had any more of this fabric. I know how that goes too. So yeah. So I guess there was a lot more. I was like looking at my clip bin earlier and I was like, oh, that doesn't look like very many clips, because it's not. Looks like about half of them ended up in this like bowl. So just as a heads up, this bowl is like a very generously sized little Notions clip bowl for sure. So I was like, where did all my clips go? And apparently there was far more in the bowl than I thought there was. I'm probably going to be able to do most of these bags. So that means that there's over 100 or close to 100 in the bowl. And it definitely was not full either. If you're curious where the bowl's from, it's from Mr. Snap That, associated with Ginger Snap That. 3D printed. I really like the iridescent like pink orange on it. And the other cool thing is like all the slots for Notions. So pen, I can put my snips and ruler in the back there. Obviously there's other ones on the sides here. So yeah, like realistically I could do that and that and this. And sometimes I've even put my seam ripper in here, because then it's like it just clears everything up. Actually the seam ripper and the awl would fit side by side probably. Yeah, there we go. So it holds a lot as a little Notions caddy. Because I've been looking at, I think So Easy has one of the ones with like the, basically little fronds that pop up from the bottom. I think it's silicone or something like that. And it'll like mold around the object that you put into it. But this is working just as well, if not better, to be honest. Especially since it does actually hold the clips quite nicely too. Whereas that other little frondy one would not. So nice thing about this is that a lot of these prints are very spring oriented right now, which is really nice. Considering that most of my shows will be in the spring. Fucking amazing. We need to make some belt bags out of this strawberry fabric and some traveler slings. Yeah. Okay. still laughing over the fact when I went to buy more wax canvas, I checked with the guy. It's like, can I just pull them off the shelf, right? Because it's a warehouse-ish setting. I'll have to take some video next time I'm in there because it is a really cool space. Like trims and fabrics and like wax canvas and upholstery stuff. And so like all the foam to make upholstery cushions and all of the stuff. But anyway, I was like, can I just pull this off? And like, I needed like 7 or 8 colors. And he was like, oh, I thought you meant that you were only going to, I did it. And then he came back. He's like, I thought you meant that you're only going to pull like 2 or 3. And I'm like, no. I need all of these colors. I need like 2+ meters of all of these colors. Although they rolled them all into the same roll, and now I'm like, ugh. Maybe what I should do is I should try and find, like, where would I find rolls like that? Because I need to almost roll it off onto something. Because otherwise, what's the point, right? I guess I could roll it on itself. Because storing the roll, yeah, storing the roll doesn't make sense. Because gift wrap gift wrap rolls are too small. They're too short, not wide, too narrow. Like they're not wide enough. Blah, blah, blah. Or I could just sew with all of it, and then it's not even an issue, right? And then I'll take the roll back next time and be like, all right, let's. I need to roll half of this order onto this roll and half an order onto the other roll, right? I definitely want to make sure that we get in and get that pastel florals made into an Aberdeen, I think. Actually, I want to see if I can make an Aberdeen and a Cambridge from it because there's probably enough. And then there's a couple others like the Japanese windows onto the gardens in sage and purple. Those will make really good lining, I think, as well. I just got to figure out what color to put with the purple. I think the sage. Actually, I don't know what to put the sage with either. We might have to go get some more colors. Shit. Wax canvas is not cheap. And I did stick to mostly colors that like I have a plan for, but I didn't think of that one. So. No. It fell. The twill. Okay, three more. Getting sucked into my thoughts. Sorry. Radio silence. Radio silence. Because this takes concentration. I think we're going to finish up exactly at 4. The plan is to finish up the twill, or 4, whichever came first. But honestly, we only have 1 bag left. So even if it was like 4 o'clock, I would be clipping the bag. And then tomorrow, I've got a 10K run in the morning. Yes, I was like, right, we discussed this earlier because I got to test out the new shoes one more time on the treadmill before I decide, like on a little bit longer run, to make sure that they're good for what I'm going to be doing in them in the next like month. month and a half, I guess. What is the date today? Month and a half. I run in like 6 weeks or something stupid like that. Anyway, hopefully they show us the medal design soon. Last year was mid-January, so I'm like, come on, I want to see my medal. Because I'm 100% going to finish. I don't care if it's at the very end of the race and the sweepers are right behind me. I am going to finish fucking Osaka Marathon. If I do nothing else this year. I'm going to finish Osaka. Anyway. All right. So tomorrow I will be back on after my 10K. I will be earlier, hopefully, because there's a lot of work to do in the next few weeks. So I've got this whole pile to sew now, and end seams all get sewn. And then we'll box them, and then hopefully we'll just finish this whole pile tomorrow. That's what I'm aiming for, because it's end seams, boxing, like actually sewing the box edges, and then turning and finishing. And then on Saturday, I think I'm going to go into this. I still am going to go into the city and take the kids to the zoo, I think, now, instead of going shopping for skates. Something. So I want to do something with my kids. But we'll see. And then Monday's going to be weird because we do have skate lessons. But I'll try and be on over the weekend. Like, I'll confirm exactly what's happening tomorrow for that. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a fantastic day whenever you are. And I'll chat with you all tomorrow for sure at some point. Hopefully earlier than 2 p.m. or whatever it was when I actually signed on. Thanks, y'all. Have a good time of it. Bye.